Jake, the first time that I get to wax poetic about Explore Utah Valley, the folks over there who invited me out to Provo, I want you to be here because you had dinner at Sundance. I didn't realize this was the biggest misconception I had about Provo as someone who's been 8 times now.
Mhm.
I didn't understand 20 minutes from BYU's campus, you can be trout fishing, fly fishing on a river. You can be at Sundance ziplining. You can go across town to effectively a brewery, a bar, get a pizza, and like as many beers as you possibly want in Provo. You could tailgate at the Marriott Convention Center. You can tailgate at Sundance. You can go jet ski with Cosmo Cougar on a lake, and that lake, I'm being told, no longer has E. coli. They're fixing the E. coli. It's getting better and better every day on Utah Lake. I don't know if I understood prior to Explore Utah Valley saying, hey, come explore Utah Valley with us. I was like, well, I've done that before. Then I come out and realize the misconceptions that other Big 12 fan bases have about Provo, about the surrounding area of, oh, those are those great, I'll use their word, the crazy Mormons. That this is just all a big religious thing. Oh, you can't have a beer, you can't have fun, you can't. It's wrong. Like the ignorance of what people believe Provo is, and certainly the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is what we call it. We don't say Mormon. It's what we call it. They have a stronghold on the university, but it's not the entire area. No. And it doesn't dictate the way that a West Virginia fan, a TCU fan, a Baylor fan, a UCF fan enjoy their experience during a BYU game day. I've seen the football games, but now what I got to see the last few days here in Provo alongside you is that most people will never understand just how much there is to do that isn't A, BYU, B, the faith that BYU stands for, or C, stuff you have to do sober. There's a whole lot in Provo that is quintessential college football, quintessential vacation that folks just never see.
Drake, welcome to my hometown, man. I grew up a stone's throw away from Provo in a place called Orem, and you drove right through Orem multiple times, I think, while you've been out here. This is exactly what Provo and Utah Valley have been battling against for years. I really want to give a shout out to the entirety of Explore Utah Valley, Lee Adamson and his crew, Skylar Beltran, one of the county commissioners. He's been in contact with you and I about this whole endeavor. And it's to dispel the preconceived notions that many have about BYU, about Provo, about the surrounding area. I grew up here, Drake. I don't plan on ever leaving this place. It is my home turf, and I absolutely love it. And I think the more people that come out here and see it, they understand what it is, what it stands for, and realize, yeah, it's not just a bunch of crazy Mormons out here that aren't able to drink.
You said the word. You said Mormons.
But that's what they all. Okay, here's the thing. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I am as thoroughbred as you're going to come in terms of being a member of the faith. But guess what? That's what everybody calls us out there in the world. They call us Mormons, and they think that we're crazy. They think that you can't find a beer here. Guess what? We've got multiple distilleries in Utah Valley. You went up to Sundance with me at an incredible dinner, and you had some incredible local brews. If I'm not mistaken, I think Epic Brewing was one of them that you.
5 beers. I had 5, and no one judged me. No one looked. They were like, you know what? Keep them coming. Hey, we were there with the director of marketing. It was like, yeah, I'm gonna have a few beers with you. It's a normal thing.
Yeah, the philosophy here is live and let live. I know that sounds like it flies in the face of what you think people, members of the Church of Jesus Christ, would be saying about people that are imbibing and the like. But here's the deal. This is a really, really cool place. I appreciate the fact that they brought you out. Our good friend Mountaineer Paul from Locked On West Virginia. He's coming out as well to explore. This is exactly what Explore Utah Valley has been needing to do for quite some time. And I'm appreciative that they're putting up the money to do this, because it allows people like you to come out here, experience something you would have never experienced otherwise, and realize, hey, you know what? It's a pretty cool place. I want to come back and do this again. I can tell you, I've talked to so many fans who have come to Provo for games over the years, and they came in with an idea of what they were going to expect, and they left with a completely different experience. It's an awesome place. The people are ultra friendly. And the best part is you can do everything you want to do, even what you might not consider is available in Utah Valley. It's all here for you.
Yeah. And people will say, well, this is a sports podcast. Well, why bring religion into it? And Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, right?
Yeah. Or Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Right.
We've got a bunch of different shows that have involved allegedly members of the Church of Jesus Christ.
Sure, right. And that's the focal point. That's kind of the crux of this, is they want to not expose necessarily a faith, but they want to paint it in a light that is strictly for entertainment. And so for me, that's the A1, right? There are still people like, oh, wow, that's polygamy, or what they use the cult word. And then you show up and you go, no, this is not, no one's forcing anything upon you. It just because when you walk into a BYU game day, everyone's sober, which, by the way, is the scariest part. It's like, how is it this loud and no one's drinking? And the Cougar tails and giving the opposing fan base ice cream and all these things, you're like, wow, is this some sort of like indoctrination? Are they trying to catch me? No, it's the heart of hospitality that the Utah Valley carries that kind of extends to everyone.
Yeah, that's the thing about this, Drake, is we as Utahns, we want to put our best foot forward. And if that involves having to give you some ice cream, give you a handshake and thank you for coming to Provo, they're happy to do it. I love the reputation that BYU fans have generated early on as members of the Big 12 Conference. They had the same, I guess you call it notoriety, even though it's a negative term, when they were independent. I remember when Wisconsin came out here, I think it was 2017. They drank one of the 2 bars in Provo completely dry, Drake. And I talked with multiple Wisconsin fans who came out for that game and said they had one of the best experiences of their entire life. And one of them, if I recall correctly, he said, I've been all over the country. I've followed Wisconsin all over this country, and this is about as good of an environment as I ever experienced. And you mentioned it. He mentioned it too. These people are all sober. This is nuts.
Yeah, that's one of the craziest parts. And for me, and I mentioned this to you, it's the idea of discipline.
Yeah.
Army, Navy, Air Force. There are schools that are formed with discipline at the forefront of what they do because they have a military tie-in, because they have some sort of the Citadel, right? For BYU, it is a similar level of learning through discipline. The Honor Code, we talked about a lot of the Honor Code the last few weeks. Learning through discipline when faith is at the forefront of that. Baylor doesn't do that. TCU doesn't do that. Notre Dame doesn't do that the same way that BYU does. They don't commit the same way that BYU does. And it doesn't mean these are scary people who want you to come to their city and you to leave as a member of the church because they forced it upon you. It is an environment of, wow, they just all like love each other and love me. And it's this revolutionary way to experience college football, revolutionary way to experience a game day. And if you're a UCF fan, a Cincinnati fan, and these schools have been to BYU, will continue to come to BYU, a TCU fan, a Baylor fan, I think experiencing it at least once and doing it for days on end, like go see the Utah Valley, is the way to do it.
Well, and that's the thing about this, Drake, because a lot of people will think they're going to go to Colorado, and you get up to Boulder, and the mountains are there. Obviously, Folsom's one thing, but we had this conversation at Sundance. Everything that people think that Denver and Colorado is, Salt Lake City and Provo, Utah actually are. The mountains are right on top of you. You can be Sundance Resort. You can go ski there, Drake. Where I grew up in Orem, Utah, if I hit every light right, I could be up on the mountain skiing. I could legitimately be skiing or snowboarding in 30 minutes. Yep. Sorry, Denver, eat your heart out. That's never going to happen. That's just not a thing. I love where I'm from. I love living here. I love showing it off to people. And yes, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we are an evangelical faith. We are a missionary-minded church. But guess what? As you mentioned, they're not going to force it on you. If you're genuinely interested in learning more about the faith, we'll talk to you about it, but we're not going to force it down your throat when you come out here.
They're different. The folks at the Utah Valley are different. Again, this is like a revolutionary thing in college athletics for most fan bases. They're not crazy.
Well, here's the thing about this, Drake, and I've been thinking about this. Why aren't other Big 12 communities doing this? We have half of this league, BYU included, is joined this conference within the last 3 years. There should be more of this by the local tourism boards in Tucson, in Tempe, in Salt Lake City, in Boulder, Colorado, etc. They should be bringing people to their communities, bring in content creators if they want, like what Explore Utah Valley is doing here. Show off your community so that other Big 12 fans know, hey, that's a place I'd like to go check out. I should go check it out because you need to experience it. And guess what? So long as this conference is together, you're going to be traveling these places more often than not.
Yep. Next few days, I'll certainly be putting out even more content about what the trip to Provo was like in my experience. That is Jake Hatch of Locked On Cougs at Jacob C. Hatch on X. You can find us wherever you find your podcast. Mm-hmm. This has been, it always will be, Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. Crossover with Cougars and Dose Grande.